What's up, fragrant world? Welcome back to another Stay Fresh production. And welcome back to Top 10 Fragrances for the summer of 2019. This time we're doing the designer edition. So I got a wonderful lineup here of fragrances to show you. There might be some fragrances you've seen before, either in my list or in other reviewers' lists. There might be some that you don't really see or maybe have never seen. We'll see. There's a lot of seeing going on, but you get the idea. I tried to rank this basically fragrances that I enjoy wearing the most when it's warm. From least to most, even though I love all of these. But obviously I'll be reaching for the top 2 or 3 a little bit more than those down the list. Let's jump right in with number 10. No honorable mentions this time. Beautiful, green, fresh, vegetal, even citric fragrance. Very perfectly unisex. From the house of Hermes, this is Un Jardin sur le Nil. Man, this is such a unique scent. If you want to smell different, this is a way to go. Again, it's green, it's again vegetal. There's kind of there's a carrot note in here that I get a lot of. So it does smell like almost like a vegetable, but it has a watery nature to it from lotus, and again it has some citrus. It's really a beautiful scent. It wears very well on the skin. I get decent longevity, not the greatest projection, but it will last me at least 6 hours. Wonderful scent to wear on a casual day out. That's Un Jardin sur le Nil from Hermes. At number 9, this is a bit of a classic. This is one that you probably haven't heard about. Unless you were wearing fragrances in the early 2000s, then you may have come across this one. This is called Swiss Army from the house of Victorinox. And this is their original release for men. I believe came out in 1997. This is a very basic fragrance. I will say that. Very aromatic and fresh. You get a lot of lavender. There's mint. There's some greenness to it. It's kind of watery. There's some citrus in there. I think there's yuzu and even bergamot. And there's actually an interesting bit of warmth to the base. You got some musk. You got amber in there, and there's more greenness as it dries down. So this one, I find it's fresh and it stays fresh, and it stays on my skin at least 7 hours, which is really surprising. So if you want to smell kind of fresh out of the shower, but in an interesting way as it dries, this is one to reach for. Easy to love. You spray it on, you're gonna like how you smell. Other people will too. So that is Swiss Army Classic from the house of Victorinox. Up next, this is technically a fragrance not from a designer house, but it is a clone of a designer fragrance from the house of Parfums Vintage. This is Aqua Intense, which is their rendition. I don't know if you can read that. Their rendition of Invictus Aqua 2016 from the house of Paco Rabanne. And they hit it right on the head with this. To me, this is a smoother and actually better quality version of 2016 Invictus Aqua, which is going for ridiculous prices, not worth it at all. This is definitely cheaper and worth checking out if you really love that scent and you're not crazy about the 2018 version and you don't want to spend a bunch of money for the 2016, then check this out. It's not my favorite. Invictus Aqua 2016 was never my favorite scent. I had it at one point, I got rid of it. I'm happy to have this if I ever have that itch to smell like sweet, fresh, aquatic bubble gum. Then I reach for this. That is Aqua Intense. Up next, from the house of Giorgio Armani, one of their newer releases that got a bit of hate when it came out because it wasn't what people expected, and I'll admit it wasn't what I expected too when I first smelled it. Didn't really care for it, but it wasn't until I wore it on skin and got some heat on it and let it radiate that I really started to appreciate it more, especially as it dries. This is Aqua di Gio Absolu. And it basically takes the Aqua di Gio DNA, that fresh and aquatic DNA, kind of watery, but it adds some like fresh and fruity nature to it. There's some tonka bean in there, and it actually adds a bit of warmth. There's amber wood, so it dries down kind of warm and musky, and definitely for me more interesting and more pleasant than the original Aqua di Gio. And it's an eau de parfum, and it will last on the skin at least 7 to 8 hours with decent projection for at least half of that time. This is not one to sleep on. This is a good one to wear on the skin and try it out. Do not spray this on paper and judge it from there. Do not smell it from the atomizer and judge it from there. You gotta wear it on skin and see what you think. I've gotten some decent feedback with this one. It just smells good. Aqua di Jour Absolute. Here at, I believe, number six here. Recent addition to my collection. One that might do better in the springtime, but I love to wear it in the summer too. I think it opens up and blossoms with heat. This is Laurent from the house of Yves Saint Laurent. It has a little bit of that original Laurent DNA in there, but it's kind of brought into another direction with a nice, robust addition of rose and ginger. Well, ginger, I believe, is in the original as well, but it's amped up here in a spicy way, so it's more spicy than the original, but it does have this beautiful masculine rose note, and the way that those two notes play together in this is wonderful. And again, it still has a little bit of the DNA, so it's still fresh, kind of creamy almost, and a little bit sweet, but if you want a slightly different take, this one is kind of unique. I don't really smell anything that smells like this in the designer realm right now. Maybe the closest thing I can think of off the top of my head is Declaration d'un Soir from Cartier, which is kind of a spicy rose as well, but a little bit different. This is a nice one that's Laurent. And up next, it's big brother, it's father, it's uncle, whatever you want to call it, the original Laurent. This is number 5, and this has been number 5 on my list for maybe a couple years now, if not just last year. And again, this is a classic for me. I never get tired of wearing this in the summer. Super elegant, super classy. If you want to smell like a gentleman in the daytime, either at work or just out and about, this is a great way to do that. I'm not going to talk much about it. One of my favorites, this is a classic. Yves Saint Laurent. At number 4, this is a new addition to my collection, and one that I've always liked in sample form for a while now, for at least a couple years. And it was kind of slept on when it came out. In fact, it was kind of pooped on a bit. People didn't really care for it, mainly because of its performance. And I don't really mind. Its performance is not the greatest. I get maybe 5 hours out of it with okay projection and sillage, but you spray heavier and it will do its job the way you need it to. Valentino Aqua, a perfect treatment of the original Valentino DNA for the summer, made more aquatic. There's a very interesting tomato note in here, which adds this beautiful kind of green touch to it, but it still retains that iris in there. There's mandarin orange, which is, I think, coming from the originals as well. So it has a little bit of sweetness to it. It's fresh. It's kind of powdery, but not really. The iris is beautifully blended in the heart of this. Such a wonderful scent. This is definitely daytime elegant. If you want to smell elegant while the sun is out, Valentino Aqua is the way to go. At number 3, another new addition. And this is the most classic on this list. This is the cap. It's magnetic. I love the details. Can you guess what the fragrance is just by looking at the cap? Anyone know? Well, here's what goes with it. Dior Eau Sauvage EDT. Originally released in 1966. This is obviously not the original version. It's been reformulated numerous times. But man, if you want to smell like you know what you're doing, if you want to smell clean and refined and put together, this is the way to go. Beautiful citrus aromatic. There's a lot of notes in here. There's a lot going on, but I get a lot of lemon, some spices, some woods, some florals. It's fresh and clean and citric, but it has a muskiness to it. Smells very gentlemanly, a little classic, a little vintage, but still modern in my opinion. I love this. I'm so glad I have it. Dior Eau Sauvage. Yeah, you might smell like your dad or your grandpa, but it smells good. It smells good, so that's just me. Number 2, kind of another classic, definitely newer than the Dior. Tommy Hilfiger for Men. Originally released, I want to say 1996 or 7, something like that. Maybe 1995, I don't remember. This one goes way back for me. This is nostalgia in a bottle for me. I grew up smelling this on my friends' older brothers and things like that. I never wore it myself, but I smelled it a lot. Wonderful scent. Apple, mint, lavender. There's some cactus in here, which is an interesting note, which I don't really smell. Alberto Maria's creation here, he made this one. Beautiful fragrance from the house. Nothing special, but if you just want to smell good and fresh and clean and kind of sexy, this is a good one to do. Tommy Hilfiger for men. And at number 1, this is one that I reacquired over the past several months. I have always loved it, but I'm glad I have it because now I can really show my love for it by wearing it. This fragrance topped a list I did a couple months ago. Fragrance is blowing my mind. It's still blowing my mind. This is such a beautiful scent. To me, it's the most unique on this list. From the house of Guerlain, L'Homme Ideal Cologne. And this fragrance has been getting a resurgence of hype, so to speak. For some reason, this season, everyone's talking about it all over again. Oh, man.
It's so beautiful.
Everything about this fragrance, down to the bottle, is so beautiful. A nice, heavy, sturdy cap. Great detailing on it. You got the logos and stuff on the atomizer. Nice, sturdy bottle. I love the white border and trim there. I love the shape, the feel, the weight, everything is just fantastic, and the juice inside is even better. To me, again, the best way I can describe this scent is a sweet and creamy, fizzy lemon soda. That's the best way I can describe it. It's fresh and effervescent, again, kind of bubbly. There's pink pepper, which adds to the sparkling nature to it. Quite a bit of grapefruit, which there's no lemon in here, but the grapefruit kind of comes off as a little bit lemony in this. You get quite a bit of almond. That's a major player here. Gets that creamy nature to it. There's vetiver. Man, this another beautiful daytime elegant fragrance, but in a more unique way to me. So if you want to smell different, if you want to smell like maybe the ideal man, as per the name, then maybe check out L'Homme Ideal Cologne. Beautiful, beautiful scent. So that is my list for the summer in terms of designer fragrances. Now it's your turn. Let me know down in the comments, one fragrance you're gonna be reaching for this summer. Give me your top favorite fragrance. Then it's a lot easier for me to converse with you if you just leave me one fragrance. I know a lot of you like to leave maybe 10 to 15 that you'll be reaching for. And that's okay. I'm not gonna say don't do that, but I'm just gonna say it's a lot easier for me to converse with you if you just mention one, because I don't have a whole lot of time when it comes to answering comments, not as much as I'd like, so I'd rather go for quality over quantity. So let me know one fragrance you'll be wearing, and also let me know what you think of the list. If there's any here that you know about and you currently wear, you've been interested in, or you don't like something, let's talk about it. That's a part of the conversation too. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Peace. See you in the next one.